Alright guys, so today I'm not gonna do an intro. I'm not doing none of this stuff. Like, it's just gonna be a sad story. A lot of people been asking like what happened and everything like that. So basically I'm gonna tell y'all what happened the whole day and everything that occurred before my puppy passed away. So sorry that I look bad today. Like, I've been crying, and like anybody who knows me knows that I'm a serious animal lover. Hold on, let me turn this air on. I had to take my friend to her job interview, so I'm just sitting outside waiting. But anybody who knows me knows that like I love animals. Animals, any animal, like I love them. And you know, I'm not against eating meat and stuff like that. Like, not like that, but like house animals, I can't stand to see somebody, you know, take their dog to the shelter. I can't stand to go to shelters or anything like that. Like, if I could bring in every dog into my home, I would, because I love them. I love dogs. Like, dogs have the mind of a child, and they're so loyal to you. Like, no dog deserves to be abused or anything. But anyways, so y'all have seen my 3-month-old puppy, Panther. Okay, he actually was 2 months and some change. He was born on March the 27th. So my dog, Cookie, she's a pit and a Rottweiler mix. She accidentally hooked up with a German Shepherd and Pit Bull mix. So now, Okay, sorry, I had that wrong. Okay, my dog is a Pit Bull and a Lab mix. Okay, my dog accidentally hooked up with a German Shepherd and a Rottweiler mix. Okay, there's the correct mix for you right there. My dog, she looks more like a Lab, so when people ask, I just tell her Lab. She don't look like a Pit Bull or any of that, so I really don't usually say it. But yeah, so she hooked up with another dog that was 2 breeds. So the puppies that were made had 4 different breeds of dogs in them. So, you know, when she got pregnant, I thought that might be a problem, but I hear about, you know, people having mutts all the time, so I didn't think nothing about it, you know what I'm saying? So the day that she had her puppies, I had actually been at work the whole day, and I knew it was like coming around the time for her to have her puppies, because dogs usually have their puppies like on the 62nd or 63rd day since they hooked up with another dog. So this was the 63rd day, and I was like, okay, I need to hurry up, get home, because she might have her puppies today. I had a big pool that was set up. It had like newspaper in it, blankets, toys and stuff like that, and I was just waiting for her to have her puppies any second, any day. So I rushed home from work, came home, and she had already had 2 puppies. Okay, one of the puppies was born dead already, off rip. It was a girl. She had another girl. That one was fine. So I went ahead and tried to, you know, push the puppy up to her where her nipples were, because she's never had puppies, and my dog is just like, I don't want to say she's dumb, but she's like so silly. Like, I don't know, like I didn't never think that she could have puppies, or she would have puppies. Like, it was literally an accident. I have a big fenced-in yard, and I let my dogs, I have a Pit Bull and a Chihuahua, and I let them run around in the yard all day, especially my Chihuahua. She loves the sun. Like, she hates being inside. And this dog jumped my fence and just raped my dog, basically. I don't know if my dog was willing, but I'm her mother, and I said she got raped, okay? So basically, that's what happened. That's how she got pregnant. And I know I probably should have got her fixed, but I never thought something like that would happen. I'm stupid, I guess, for not getting her fixed, and I guess I should get her fixed now. So she had her puppies. She had 2 before I got home. One had already passed away, so she had 1 at this point. Then she had the other 2. She had 4 in total. 3 of them were girls, 1 was a boy. Soon as I saw the boy, which was Panther, my puppy, I was like, I am keeping him. Like, he's the only boy. He was all black, and he had sharp claws, and he slept on his back. Just looking at him, I was like, he looks like a panther. Like, he looks like a black panther. So I was like, I'm keeping him. And from that moment, like, I used to pick him up. I would tell him, like, you're so handsome, Panther. Like, I would talk to him. And then after about a week of him being born, like, I would check on them all day, all the time, because even after all 4 of the puppies were born and I buried the one puppy, my dog just acted like she did not know what to do with her puppies. Like, she would not lay down and let them eat. She wanted to sit up and, like, sit on her stomach to where they couldn't get to her nipples. So, like, I had to keep pushing her down, letting them eat. Like, it was really brutal, like, that first month, because it was so hard to keep them on the nipple. So about the first week, like, Panther started showing, like, weird signs. Like, sometimes I would come in there and it would look like he was dead, and, like, I would, like, pick him up and rub him to stimulate him, and he would be so lethargic. So I took him to the vet, and, well, I took all of the puppies to the vet at PetSmart when they were first born, and they said that all of them were fine. And I told them that one of them had died, and they were like, with it being her first litter, and she only had 4 because it's her first litter, that's normal. She said sometimes, like, all of them die except for one. It just depends on the dog. So I was like, okay, you know, everything was fine. So when I took him to the vet, they told me that his blood sugar was dropping too low because he wasn't getting enough to eat. So they gave me these small, tiny bottles and this milk replacer for puppies. They told me don't mix it with anything. It was a liquid. They gave me a whole bunch of bottles of it. And they told me that it should be good. And they said at 4 weeks, I can, like, start to try to wean him. If he's not ready to wean, then, you know, keep feeding him. But then try to give him some really, really soft food. And they recommended the food and everything. So at this time, I was trying to find homes for the other puppies because I knew that I was not going to keep all of them. So I found 2 other homes for the other puppies. They went to really good homes, and they're doing really good. Like, they're really big, really healthy. There's nothing wrong with them at this point. I did let them know what happened to Panther, so they're going to take their dogs to the vet again just for another checkup. But anyways, so I was feeding him with the bottle and all that, and I did that for about probably 3 or 4 weeks, and then I was like, you know, time to introduce him to some hard food. So it was soft. I was getting Purina puppy chow, but it was, like, really, really soft, and it was in the little, like, package that you just unzip it. So I was giving him that, and it was like when he got on hard food, like, he completely changed. He was big and strong. He wanted to eat all day. Like, he was so cute. So then that's, I think, about 6 weeks I introduced them to, like, outside. So I would only let them go in my yard because they hadn't been vaccinated yet. So I wanted to make sure that they weren't going to catch anything that was going to make them sick. Like, I loved Panther so much. Like, I did not want anything to happen to him or the other puppies. Like, I just love animals, you know what I'm saying? So after I introduced them to outside, it was like they were ready to go. Like, they were happy and everything. So the 2 owners that wanted to get the puppies, they told me that once they made an appointment for them to get their first round of shots, they wanted to come and pick their dogs up. So I told them that was fine. So they let me know when, because they were friends, both of them were friends, and they were both going to take the puppies. And that made me feel good because the puppies would be near each other and stuff like that. So they made an appointment to get their first round of shots and all of that. They let me know. So I was like, okay, we set a date. They came over and they saw their puppies eat the soft food for the first time. They saw them go outside for the first time. Like, they were very involved. So when they finally came and picked up their puppies, everything was good. They went home. Their puppies got their shots, healthy, all that. I still had Panther, okay? So I took Panther to PetSmart to get his shots. This was like a few weeks after that. He was probably about, like, 2 months? No, like a month and a half. Because as soon as they told me at PetSmart I could get his shots, I took him that week. Like, there's a certain age that they're too young to get it. So once he got to the age where he could get it, I took him right up there to get it. Because I wanted to take him to the beach. I wanted to take him to the dog park, like all that. And you can't do that unless they're vaccinated, or they could get, like, parvo or distemper, kennel cough, stuff like that. Stuff that could really kill them. So, took him to get his shots. Everything was fine. Later that day, he was kind of like not feeling good from the shots, I guess. He had diarrhea. But everything was fine. We got through that. Cool. So, let's fast forward to like this week, okay? This week, everything was normal. He was about 2 months and 2 weeks. Something like that. Everything was fine. Still eating good. Still using the bathroom. He has his own kennel, his own cage, and his own bed, his own toys, his own water bowl, all that stuff. So, I discovered that he had a love for water. Like, he loved playing in the rain. I'm going to attach a video real quick for you guys to see right now, so you guys can see how much he loved water. He had a big 2-gallon water bowl that I got for him, and he would get in the water bowl and splash all the water out. I'm going to attach that video right here. Okay, so that was the video. I know it was so cute. It just brings tears to my eyes. So, he loved water. Like, he loved baths, all that stuff. And I just had so much fun with him. So, let's fast forward to 3 days ago, which is when it happened. So, I woke up, and my friend had a job interview that day. This is her second job interview that I'm taking her to. I promised I would take her. So, she had a job interview that day. So it was around, she had a job interview at noon. Was it noon? No, today it was at noon, because right now it's 12:30. Okay, so her job interview was at 2:30 that day. Okay, so I woke up, everything was good. I was chilling, took a shower, brushed my teeth, washed my face with this little scrubby thing I be using. And I was just having a great day. I went to their cages, all 3 of my dogs. Their cages are all like lined up together. And I opened each door and I was like, come on, let's go outside, because when I say that, they dart to the door. Like, they love going outside. So I was like, come on, let's go outside. So I opened the door. They ran out, ran straight to the grass. I grabbed their outside water bowl. It's like a big, like, water bowl that comes out automatically. And I flipped it upside down and I filled it up with the faucet outside, put it back down, and I went inside to grab their big bag of dog food. Because when they're out there, I make sure they have food and water, because it's Florida, so it's like, it's really hot. And plus, Panther's a puppy, so he eats all day. So, I put the stuff out there, and I say about 20 minutes had passed, and my friend knocked at the door. And I was like, okay, she's here. Let's go we're getting ready to go to the interview. So I told her, I said, I need to let my dogs in. And I can't remember what I was doing. I think I was putting on my shoes, and she was like, I'll let them in. And I was like, okay. So I have a bell on my door, like not a doorbell, but like an actual bell, and it's on a rope, and it hangs from the doorknob, because my oldest dog, the lab mixed with the pit, if I ring that bell, or when I turn the doorknob and I open the door, the sound of the bell makes her come, and when she comes, the other dogs follow her. So I told my friend, I said, when you open the door, shake the bell and they'll know to like run to the door. So she opened the door, she shook the bell, and Cookie, my oldest dog, she ran in. Queen, my Chihuahua, she ran in. And she was like, don't you have a puppy? And I said, yeah. And I was like, his name's Panther. And she was like, Panther, Panther. And she was calling him and he didn't come. And I had an issue with him like 2 weeks before that, where he dug a big hole and he escaped out of my yard. So that's why I don't leave him outside for long periods of time anymore, because I have to make sure he doesn't dig out. So I was like, oh my God, like, I don't want you to be late for your interview. Let me go outside and find him. So I finished putting on my shoes and I ran out there and I'm like, Panther, Panther. While I'm yelling his name, it started to rain. And I'm like, no, like, this can't happen. I'm looking for the dog. I don't want him out in the rain. So then I noticed something black in the yard, and he's all black. And the reason why I didn't notice him is because he was right next to this tree that also has a set of 2 bushes right next to it. So, and he does like to run through the bushes at full speed. I don't know why, but he always comes out with a whole bunch of dirt and hitchhikers all over him. And he has to get a bath like at least once a week because of that. So I'm thinking he's in the bush. And I'm like, man, look at him. Look at him. He plays so much. And I'm like, come on, Panther, come on. And I'm like yelling at him like, come on. Because he's a puppy and, you know, puppies don't listen. So I was like, I got to go get him. Like, I got to go grab him because he's not coming. So when I got over to him, he was like laying down, but like his neck was like, he was laying this way, but his neck was this way. And the tree was right here by his neck. So I'm thinking like, oh no, his collar got caught to the tree branch. So I unhooked his collar, and when I unhooked it, I was like, come on. And his legs were like going like this, but he wasn't getting up. And I looked at my friend, and my friend started backing away with her hands up. And she was like, something's wrong with him. And I looked down, and I'm like, yeah, something is wrong. So we're looking at each other, and I'm like, oh my God, my dog. So I pick him up, like I scoop him up. And at that point, I was still unsure what could be wrong. But when I scooped him up, I knew something serious was really wrong with him. Because when I picked him up, his head went down and all of his legs were stiff as a board. And I was just like, what happened to my dog? So I brought him in the living room and I stood him up. And when I stood him up, he fell over. And that was the point when I knew, like, okay, he can't even stand up. Like, what am I gonna do? So while that was happening, like, I'm freaking out and I'm dialing my dad on the phone. And my dad picks up and I'm like, Dad, I need help. My dog, there's something wrong. And he's like, FaceTime me. Because my dad works in pest control. And my dad has had a lot of instances where people have let their dogs outside and they've gotten poisoned by stuff. So, like, he knows a little bit about it. And he wanted to look at the dog to see if maybe it looked like he was poisoned or something. So he looked at him and, like, he was telling me to move his legs around and stuff like that. And I was. And he was like paralyzed, y'all. He was paralyzed. And my dad was like, put the phone to his face so I could see his face. So I did. And my dad was like, he's gone. Like, look at his eyes. And that's when I got a good look at his eyes, when my dad brought it to my attention. And I looked and like his eyes were crossed. And it was the scariest thing. So I told my friend, I said, maybe he got bit by a snake or maybe he got stung by a bee. I wrapped him up in a towel and I said, I'm still going to take you to your interview. But while you're at your interview, I'm probably going to have to take him to the emergency vet. I'm going to see like what actually is going on. So at that point, I'm petting him and I'm holding him and I'm Googling like his symptoms and stuff. So I read about this particular disease. I forgot what it's called, but I'm going to look it up and I'll attach the name down here for you guys to read it. I can't think about it right now. I'm trying to think. I don't know. The video is getting kind of long, so I'm trying to hurry up. So there's this disease. It starts with a P, but I can't remember. It starts with a P, and basically it lasts about a week. And it's where something in their inner ear goes wrong and they lose their balance and they lose all of the function in their back legs. That's exactly what was happening to Panther. And it also said if they do try to stand up, they walk on the balls of their feet like how like monkeys or gorillas do. So when I tried to stand him up, that's how his feet were. They were like under like this. So I'm like, okay, maybe this is what he has. Maybe it's going to run its course. But at the same time, I didn't want to take any chances because I didn't want him to die. So I pulled up at my friend's interview and I'm like, okay, good luck on your interview, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Then, if you guys look on my Facebook, I had uploaded a video of him in the back seat. I put him in the back seat on a towel. Oh, because I forgot to tell you, while this was going on, like he kept peeing a lot on himself. So that's why I had him in a towel too. And it had started raining, so I thought he was like cold because he was wet. So that's why I had him wrapped up. So I head to the emergency vet. That's when I put up the video on Facebook because I know I have a few vet techs and EMTs on my page. I didn't know if anyone was able to offer any advice or anything or if someone actually lived where I lived at and they had a vet they could recommend, because I take mine to PetSmart and they're a vet, but they're not emergency vet. So I pull up at the emergency vet, I take him in. As soon as they saw him, like, the lobby was full with people. As soon as they saw him, they were like, we got to get him to the back now. So they take him to the back. I'm still in the lobby, and I'm like, why didn't they let me come back? What are they doing to my puppy? So then they call me, they call my name, they're like, you can come back and talk to the doctor. So I go in there, Panther's laying on like this metal table, and he's just whining and whining. And you guys, I swear on everything, he had tears coming out of his eyes, and I just broke down. Like, I just started sobbing. And the doctor, she had like put her hand on my back, and she was like, it's okay, I know how you feel, my cat. And I'm like, no, I don't care about your cat. What is wrong with my dog? So she tells me that he has some sort of brain injury. And I'm like, well, what kind of brain injury? Like, what do I need to do? And she's like, well, I don't know if he hit his head or if he fell on something, but she told me that he was born with a brain condition, because they did a scan on him. They did a scan and they did some sort of test on his eyes. And she told me that he was born with a brain defect that was caused by not having enough oxygen when he was born. And she said some dogs can live with it their whole life. Other dogs, when they bump their head or hit their head or fall, it triggers the brain injury to go full throttle. And then basically they have to be drugged up for the rest of their life. And she told me because he had been having constant seizures for like the past hour and a half, she told me, she said, I'm going to give him a seizure medicine right now, and we're going to see if he can come out of the seizure. She said if he doesn't, then that means he has lasting brain damage. So that was the last thing she said to me. She pulled out a needle, she stuck it in the back part of his, like, not his leg, but like towards his butt more. And he did not even cry, and that's how I knew, like, he was just out of it, because he cries at pain, you know what I'm saying, like every dog does. So I knew he was completely out of it. So she gave him the shot, we waited. He was just constantly seizing. His eyes were darting back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. When he would seize, his legs would go straight as a board. I don't know if you guys can see, I still have scratches and stuff from where I was holding him, and his legs would go straight and his claws would just go straight into my neck. And she told me basically there's nothing she can do to give him like his full life back, basically. So she referred me to a neuro clinic, like for neurology, basically. And she told me where to take him. They would look at him more, and once they looked at him, they would make the determination what to do next. Took him there. They took one look at him. They said, we're going to get his vitals. They put the little stethoscope to his heart, and they said he didn't have a heart murmur, but they said his heart was not beating correctly. So then they had to put patches and stuff on him. I'm not sure what kind of tests they were running, but they had me step out. And when I came back in, the doctor told me that he had a stroke. So once he told me that, and he told me that he had 106 fever. So after he told me that, he told me that his fever might have came from me wrapping him in the towel, but it could actually be because of the brain swelling and all of that stuff. So that was basically it. They told me there was nothing else that they could do. And they brought in a orange stretcher that had like little paw prints on it, and there was 3 little syringes that were like this big, and they were on the stretcher. And basically they asked me what I wanted to do, and I told them I couldn't have him like that. Like, I don't want him to suffer. So they had me sign a paper for euthanasia. I hate even saying it because, like, I can't believe he's gone, but they had me sign a paper for it. And they kept his remains because, unfortunately, prior to them putting him to sleep, I had already spent $550. So I was like, I'm not going to be able to afford, to get his body back or his ashes back, because to put him to sleep was $100. And to get his ashes and stuff back, it was like $200 to $300, and I couldn't do anything else, you know what I'm saying? So I paid the money for him to get euthanized, and they asked me did I want to stay there and see it. I told them no. So I told him bye, kissed his little face, told him I was sorry, and I told him that, you know, he'll be in a better place, and when he gets there, he'll be able to play in all the water and all the mud that he wants, and tear up whatever he wants, chew up whatever he wants. And at this point, I'm just glad he's not suffering. But the lesson that I bring out of this is, I guess, I'm not going to leave my dogs outside anymore. Even though, like, that didn't cause it, and the vet reassured me that that didn't cause it. It was just like, what if I would have been out there watching him? Like, what if I would have been able to get him help sooner? Like, how long was he like that? You know, and did he hit his head? Did he fall off of something? I'll never know, you know what I'm saying? But I just know I miss him, and I had to do this video for a little bit of closure. I still have his squeaky ball and his collar. It just hurts. I had him since the day he was born, and it hurts. I'm sorry, Panther. But that's the story of how he passed away, and I hope that it helps you guys, or, you know, teaches y'all something about dog illnesses. I don't know, but I just wanted to share the story with you guys. Thanks for watching. Sorry I didn't do a proper intro. Sorry the video is so long. I just wanted to tell y'all everything that happened from start to finish. Since I didn't do an intro, I'll do an outro. Y'all know what I always say. Stay up, stay safe, and stay subscribed. Peace out until next time.